Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Roblox reaction. Today we have a request in the comments from last video from Truck Machine that said I should listen to this one. Cogito Ergo Sum Conviction from Combat Initiation. That's all the context I was given, so I'm just gonna listen to this one, see why so many people wanted me to hear it. So without further ado, let's go! Ah, okay, flashing lights and everything. For those of you who are sensitive, I am not, so no worries there. Okay. Leading into the disorienting triads of a square wave. Very Lavender Town Pokemon of you. Wait a minute. This might go harder than I thought. All right, hold up. It's a little bit fire. Okay. This is really sick, actually. I love all the distortion on here. It's all very complimentary. Nothing is like getting washed out. It's all really clean. Despite what I said with the distortion. It's a clean application of distortion. Okay. I mean, it's catchy too. That's kind of unfair. Ooh. Little bouncy Halloween kind of a vibe going on here. Yeah, I'm loving the energy on this. This is fantastic. A little bit of iffiness in that last section. I'll explain why. But nothing song ruining, just a technical thing. I love this part too. A great little break. Ooh. I thought I was gonna jump back in like right away. Ooh, into the halftime. Okay. Interesting to do a halftime after a break like that, but I'm not mad. Usually halftimes would come at like immediately following the normal time. See, like right here, this section is really well balanced all the way through. Really satisfying lead in there too. The main melody is, again, catchy, but it's all complementing like each part. It's all working really well together. also something in this video that I want to see what's going on, but I'll wait till it's done and I'll go back to find it. Ooh. Okay. Spicy ending there. That was a really good track. It had everything it should have. It was well balanced. It had all the stuff in there as far as just keeping the energy of the song going. I don't have any arguments on this one, really. I've got a few things I want to talk about, but first, I'm going to go back into this and try to find that thing. So I'll cut right to it, but I'm going to go find it real quick. Okay, so here it was. You probably can't see it too well on the little screen over on OBS, but it says right here at the very bottom corner of the video, cinematic mode enabled, press insert to disable, and that doesn't happen every time this guy is bouncing in and out. It's only every other loop, it seems. So I think the editor might have left something in there, oopsie daisy, but again, not a big deal. It was just something that I noticed while watching it. I'm like, what the hell? Maybe it's just text from the game, but it very well could have been left over from an effect added to that layer of the character going in and out. Whatever the reason, it was just kind of a funny little oopsie daisy in there that was left. All right, so like I said a few times, really fun song, very well done. Everything was balanced and had its place. It was super tight. Everything about it was really solid. One factor that I noticed, which I think was around the 1 minute and 30 mark, was the electric guitar underneath the rest of the song. Sounded like it was almost at the end of that passage, starting to struggle to keep up. It wasn't quite tight enough, at least compared to the rest of the song, the rest of the layers, that it started to feel like it was lagging behind the rest of the song just a little bit. It started to add a little bit of unfortunate warble to the song at that point, because it started getting just far enough away from the main beat that it was starting to offset where the rhythm was supposed to hit on the one. And it wasn't anything egregious, like I mentioned. It wasn't like it was god awful and a half second off or anything, but it was just enough BPM off because of the way that it was kind of scooping. I'm not sure if that was because of a side chain being applied to the rhythm and therefore that section of the guitar, or if it's just because they were using a loop and it wasn't a perfect loop, which will happen, especially if they're recording their own electric guitar samples and looping them manually. You will have moments where all that will build up, if you go a little bit too long. And it was right on the cusp by the end of that where I'm like, oh, it's starting to lose it a little bit. It's basically started biting off more than it could chew. And that's completely a technical thing and doesn't, like I said, really take away from the song too much. It's just a little bit of a thing where it's if that were me, I would maybe go back in there and start tightening that up by just a couple of BPM as it got closer to the end, just to kind of mask that issue, but not really a big concern. And like I said, it didn't really build up until the very end, and that's when they decided to switch to the next part of the song anyway, so it really didn't have that big of an impact. So I would say if that really was an issue, I would give it a C or a B minus as far as application goes, but it's not like I'm expecting a straight A situation here either. There are very few people on earth that could do a straight A application of music. Even the greatest people that I've listened to music from do fail a few things here or there. So it's not like it's going to be an expectation of me, but it was something that I thought it was worth mentioning, and something for you who are watching this and interested in that sort of technical application to be careful of. Be careful of your loops if you're using them, because that sort of creep can definitely happen over time, especially using loops. But kind of going further into what I was saying during the reaction, I thought everything was so well placed here. I love that they were using that square wave triad situation. I mentioned it sounded very Lavender Town Pokemon for me, and it's because it kind of is the same thing there. It's disorienting. It's something that feels just a little bit off because your brain doesn't process those too terribly well in the harmonic frequencies, so it just sounds a little off-putting off-putting. Great way to start the song before getting into all of the other stuff and adding every other layer into it, and honestly completely changing up the sound of the track. I thought it was just going to be like a chiptune sort of track at that first section until it changed up, and I was like, oh shit, all right, so it's just more than meets the eye at that point. And they handled everything really well. I thought the drums and the beat were very well done, even though they were fairly minimal. That's not a problem at all. You need to make the drums work for the song. I say that all the time. The drums are supposed to work with the music, not against it, not really driving it, but being a part of that conversation. Otherwise, you're going to have nonsense going on, and this song had just enough drums that it felt like it fit without doing a bunch of extra crap or adding fills that didn't need to be there, all of that other, fancy bullshit. You don't need that sometimes. You just need a straight beat to keep the song together, and especially for something like this where it was hybridized a little bit with synths and like rock electric guitar in there, it's like, okay, maybe they are going to add a little bit more drums or something, but they never went that direction. They stayed pretty straightforward, and that is totally chill. I always love it when I see people who are making songs and they listen to the song and work with it, not against it, in order to make the final product be that much better. So in this case, having something like a more simplistic drum track totally fits the rest of the vibe of the song, and everything else, all the other complexity, was mostly in the melody and having a little bit more fun in like the solos and everything, which also, given what they were not overdoing it either. We didn't get like an extremely over-the-top face-melting guitar riff or anything in here. It was pretty standard and pretty simple, but again, that works with the rest of the song. It worked with the energy that the song was trying to convey, and it just worked really nicely. Even when we had that like spot in there where I was like, oh, there's a break, like that kind of shifted my expectation further of what the song was trying to be, and I was not sure if they were going to start doing something heavier or like pick up the pace more and then dropping that into a halftime. So I was like, okay, this is something that's supposed to be more threatening on the intimidation level than it is fast and aggressive in that way. It's something that's large and can punch you. I don't know what these bosses or whatever this song is supposed to be for. I'm assuming it's a boss. I'm assuming the giant thing that was on the screen, don't know if I would call that a person, was like a monster, I guess, was just standing on screen. I didn't know if that was supposed to be what the song was representing or if it was supposed to be just something related to the map. And if I want to be generous about this, which I kind of do, because again, the song is really well done, I would actually liken this to like an Undertale song. Not directly in the sound or anything, but the approach to it. It almost sounded like an Undertale remix of sorts. And I'm not sure if that's exactly an inspiration for this musician. I wouldn't be surprised. Toby Fox has a corner on a lot of people's inspirational markets, but the general idea here is that this song has that sort of energy to it, where it's just, you feel like there's something special about this track and this composer as a result. So I hope that this composer is going to keep making things in the future, because I feel like with quality this high and a true understanding of how music works together, this is somebody who has probably been around for a while, or at very least just has the general understanding of how music should work. They have a good feel for it, if nothing else, but I'm assuming it's probably a little bit of experience mixed in there, and I think that this person is going to go really far with quality like this. I don't know how long they've been making music. For all I know, they started a couple months ago, but they also could have started a few years ago and have had that time to work through it and figure out their sound and how to approach it, and that's the result of this song. Whatever the case may be, there is something about this that really gives me that standout quality where I'm like, man, this person's going somewhere. If they keep it up, they are going to be making the biggest moves. They need that one breakout game, that one breakout project that's going to do very well, and they are going to be very well known in the scene. I just get that vibe off of this creator. I think that this composer did an amazing job at balancing everything. And like I said, even the greatest of the greats don't necessarily get a straight A report card when it comes to any sort of musical composition or handling. There's always going to be something that's a little bit different, but you don't need it to be perfect. You need it to be released, you need to be proud of it, and you need to stick to your guns and keep learning. So I think that's what this person has done. They've made an amazing song, and I can only see them continuing to grow from here. So fantastic work there, and I have absolutely no other negatives to say about it. It's just good. So thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you to everybody who wanted me to get to this one, and if you have another song from Roblox you want me to get to, by all means, drop in the comments comments below. You can request from any game in Roblox, and if it does well enough in the comments, I'll get to it next time. So if you want to do that, do so. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that. And I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!